Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for June 19th. June 19th is the 170th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 171st in leap years, with 195 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Elysian. That's spelled Elysian, Elysian. This beautiful word comes to us from ancient Greek mythology. Its meaning has evolved over time, as does the meaning of so many words. Originally, the Elysian fields were a heavenly resting place to go to in the afterlife, I suppose like what we might call heaven, the Elysian fields. Less thought of as an afterlife location these days, the term is now more thought of as a lovely place. Might be equated with paradise. Nowadays, Elysian can be used as an adjective to describe a blissful state, being of such surpassing excellence as to suggest inspiration by the gods. That's lowercase g. Some think the concept of Elysian fields may have been conceived to encourage soldiers in battle. Elysian. Alrighty, and on that beautiful thought, we are going to start with June 19th in the year 325, when the original Nicene Creed was adopted at the First Council of Nicaea. That First Council of Nicaea was a council of Christian bishops who came together to try to figure out and agree on what they believed, agree on what they agreed on. They came up with the statement of faith that we now know as the Nicene Creed. And I imagine some of my viewers might belong to religious denominations where this is still read on a regular basis. Some of you may even know it by heart, the Nicene Creed. That was on June 19th in the year 325. The first officially recorded organized baseball game was played in a ballpark called Elysian Fields in Hoboken, New Jersey on June 19, 1846. The New York Baseball Club defeated the Knickerbockers 23-1 in that game. On June 19, 1862, the U.S. Congress prohibited slavery in the United States territories. Following that, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on September 22, 1862. This Emancipation Proclamation went into effect on January 1, 1863, and word was sent out across the country. Now, in that time, news traveled much more slowly than it does now. So it wasn't until June 19, 1865, that word finally got to Galveston, Texas, about the Emancipation Proclamation, that slaves were now officially free. They could continue to work for their former masters, only now it would be a boss-employee situation for pay. June 19th came to be a significant anniversary, a day of celebration known as Emancipation Day or Juneteenth. Juneteenth starting in Texas as it did. Mr. Bowers told me that he remembers Juneteenth being a notable holiday in the town where he grew up out in the Texas Panhandle. Cookouts, red soda pop, and a great celebratory spirit, Juneteenth. And now these many years later, it has become a federal holiday. So happy Juneteenth. This is the birthday of American baseball great Lou Gehrig, born June 19th, 1903. He played for the New York Yankees, I believe, his whole career. Pretty sure. Sadly, he developed an incurable neuromuscular illness called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, in his 30s. His plight so touched the American public that ALS to this day is called Lou Gehrig's disease. He was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame by special election in 1939. Lou Gehrig died in 1941, and he was only 37 years old. On this day in history, June 19th, 1910, the very first Father's Day was celebrated in Spokane, Washington. A song called Moody River was the #1 song on June 19th, 1961. This story song of a lost love was written and originally recorded by a country rockabilly singer known as Chase Webster a few years earlier. Pat Boone recorded the song in April of 1961 and it hit #1 on this day, June 19th, 1961. I've placed a link to Pat Boone's version of Moody River in the description if you'd like to hear it. Moody River, #1 on June 19th, 1961. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include the link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.